Good morning, everyone. I call this special council meeting Thursday, April the 25th, 2024, 10:02 to order, and to acknowledge we are on the traditional territory of the Stahelas. I have a question to start off with here to the corporate officer. And is it the mayor's responsibility from my oath of office to follow the rules of law, specifically the Community Charter, the Local Government Act, and the Council Procedural Bylaw?
I can confirm the wording of the oath of office.
Thank you.
So your oath of office said that you solemnly affirm that I will abide by all rules related to conflicts of interest under the Community Charter. I have complied with the provisions of the Local Government Act in relation to my election to this office. I will carry out my duties with integrity. I will be accountable for the decisions that I make and the actions that I take in the course of my duties. I will be respectful of others. I will demonstrate leadership and collaboration. I will perform the duties of my office in accordance with the law.
Thank you. So the next question here, just again to the corporate officer, can you just please read out to me in the Community Charter with regards to notice of public meetings and also the time?
Sure.
Thank you.
Is this in regard to special meetings or regular meetings?
Special meetings.
Special meetings. Section 127, sub 2 of the Community Charter. Subject to subsection 4, notice of a special council meeting must be given at least 24 hours before the time of the meeting by posting a copy of the notice at the regular council meeting place, posting a copy of the notice at the public notice posting places, and leaving one copy for each council member at the place to which the member has directed notices be sent. The notice under subsection 2 must include the date, time, and place of the meeting, described in general terms the purpose of the meeting, and be signed by the mayor or the corporate officer. Notice of the special council meeting may be waived by unanimous vote of all council members.
Thank you. So can I ask you again to the corporate officer, can you please read out the council procedural bylaw as to the notice of public meetings and time?
With regards to special council meetings, section 15 of the council procedure bylaw states, it's 15A sub I, or sub 1, sorry, posting a notice at the public notice posting places stating the way in which the meeting will be conducted, either in person or by means of electronic or other communication facilities, indicating the place where the public may attend to hear or watch and hear the proceedings that are open to the public, and a designated municipal officer must be in attendance at the specified place.
Thank you. And then, so can you just, again, to the corporate officer, can you read out for the council procedural bylaw the definition of the public notice posting place, please?
The public notice posting place means the village's website at www.harrisonhotsprings.ca and all public notice bulletin boards.
Thank you. So as of approximately 7 a.m. this morning, I personally witnessed that there was no notice at Memorial Hall, public notice bulletin board. This meeting cannot proceed as it contravenes the Community Charter and the Council Procedural Bylaw. There is a provision, though, as the corporate officer mentioned here, to waive notice per the Community Charter for emergency provisions which requires a unanimous approval of council. Could the corporate officer please confirm that?
Yeah, I can speak on that if I can, Mayor Wood.
Please.
The Memorial Hall Public Notice Posting Board is very recent, and it only went up when meetings were held at Memorial Hall in order to comply with the community charter, because there's a section that states that the in addition to the public notice posting places, it should be posted outside of where the meeting will be held. So when the meeting is not held at Memorial Hall, we don't typically post notice at that notice board. It's only for meetings that are being held at the hall. If council is not satisfied that notice was sufficiently posted based on that explanation, then yes, notice can be waived by unanimous vote of all council members. So that's
sorry, and that's per section. What was that?
the notice being waived.
Yes.
127 sub 4.
127.4.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I move per section 127.4 of that's the community charter.
Yeah.
Correct.
Pardon me, Mayor,
No,
Councillor Fascio was gonna call.
I've actually got a motion on the table here, so I move per section 127.4 of the community charter that the council agreed to waive notice. Do I have a second? Seconded by Councillor Vidal. Any discussion? Councillor Allen.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate your concern about proper notice being served. I'm very keen that the public get due notice of all meetings. I wasn't aware that Memorial Hall was not one of the list of places to be posted. I've always assumed that it was one of the three, one here at the office entrance, one at the post office, and one at Memorial Hall. That's not in our bylaw as a list of posting places.
Go ahead.
Can I through to Councillor Allen? No, it's the public notice. It's not one that has the official Harrison Hot Springs public notice on there. It's it's new. It's only been put up in the last couple of months.
Yeah. I understood that it was either a bylaw or a resolution designating that as one of the places that notices must be posted. And I don't have the time here to research that, but that's my recollection. My concern, though, Mr. Mayor, is that I did come to you over a week ago and suggest that we needed to hold a special meeting for the limited purpose of adopting the 2024 budget and establishing the tax rate for 2024 for the village. And you subsequently called a special meeting for that purpose. I agreed to attend, that the meeting would be for that purpose and for that purpose alone, and that was my understanding. I was disappointed on receiving the agenda for this meeting to find that 2 other items have been added, and I don't think that's in order. When I asked you if you had approved those, you said no. And again, I object to the fact that this agenda has been prepared and circulated without your specific approval. My understanding of the community charter, under which I continue to attempt to comply in my duties as a councillor, says that in section 116, section 2, it says the mayor must provide leadership to the council, including by recommending bylaws, resolutions, and other measures that, in the mayor's opinion, may assist the peace, order, and good government of the municipality. There is no other section in the community charter that gives any other person the right or the privilege or the authority to put anything before council. It has always been understood clearly to myself and other mayors that the mayor, in approving the agenda, is running the meeting, providing the leadership, and he alone is the person who must prepare and approve the agenda with the able assistance of our corporate officer, of course. So I think that any meeting which has been called, an agenda has been presented without the mayor's input and approval is an illegal meeting. The last meeting was, in my opinion, completely illegal for that reason. And I believe this meeting, in which you did not approve this agenda prior to being circulated, is also illegal. So on that basis, I'm attending this meeting under protest because I believe that the meeting itself is illegal because the mayor has been excluded from the preparation of the agenda and has not approved the agenda. And that's my position. If there's any attempt to add late items to this agenda with more of the ambush resolutions that come as a big surprise to myself and others, I will object to that because I believe that is completely contrary to the rules of procedure contained in the community charter, our own bylaws, Robert's rules, and everything else. We're all entitled to know what will be discussed and entitled to have time to prepare for that. In an emergency situation, if there's a landslide across the road last night, I'm quite happy to waive notice on that and deal with it as an emergency situation. There's nothing in this agenda, even the two additional items being the transit levy and the 75th anniversary celebration. Neither of those are urgent items. So I don't consider that they qualify as something that should be held for a special emergency meeting. So I'm opposed to this meeting proceeding on the grounds that it has not legally been called because you, the mayor, have been excluded from the preparation of the agenda. Thank you.
Councillor Vidal.
Mayor Wood, through you to our corporate officer. Could you please find this section in our procedural bylaw which states who does the agenda, please?
To the corporate officer, that's not the motion that's on the table. Thank you. Any further discussion? Councillor Jackson.
I've asked
I'm
a
not sure, I
question.
didn't come here to listen to speeches.
Exactly.
I've
Can we
come
get on
here
with it?
to approve this agenda and get on with corporate business. If I continue to listen to Councillor Allen, nothing will ever be done. We have a choice here, either approve it or don't. He can vote against everything if he chooses to, that's his right. But I'm not gonna sit here, council meeting after council meeting, and tell me what we're not doing right. This community is very well run. We have great staff, and I'm tired of it being pulled down. Tired of it. You're supposed to be the leader. This should not be going on. We should be dealing with this agenda so we can get on with business. Would you please do that? Thank you.
The oath of office is my responsibility to follow the rules of law. The law is clear in our council procedural bylaw and the community charter that notice of public meetings must be given. They must be given 24 hours in advance.
They were given, it was given. I saw the notice.
Please, I'm speaking.
I saw the notice of meeting. I saw it.
Speaking, Councillor. I am speaking.
I doesn't, but I saw the notice of
Councillor,
meeting.
I am speaking, please. The notice should have been at the community, at the Memorial Hall. That's where council meetings are. It is a public notice board. It is under lock and key by the village staff. It is for village business. It does have the agenda up there for previous meetings. Anybody that did not know about this meeting today would have more than likely shown up at Memorial Hall. If they showed up at Memorial Hall, there's no notice for the public to know that this meeting is actually being held right here, right now. Public need to be, and it is required by law to be part of this meeting. It is my interpretation that we clearly do not meet that notification. So to the corporate officer, please accept this as my formal request to call a special meeting of council for Tuesday, April the 30th at 10 a.m. The venue is this village office with the agenda to include the adoption of the 2024 budget and the tax rate bylaw if applicable. This meeting is hereby collapsed. Thank you everybody for coming.
10 a.m.
10:07 session.